Oh my god, hey, and welcome back to my kingdom of stagey isolation. So one thing that I've been doing while I'm in lockdown, waiting for this pandemic to pass so I can get back into a theatre, is spending a lot of time on social media, especially Twitter. And on stagey Twitter recently, there is one particular tweet that has been doing the rounds, and it's to do with controversial Broadway opinions. It was originally tweeted by somebody called Lauren at Love Medleys, and it says, "I want to be entertained, so quote this with your most controversial Broadway opinions," with a little video of someone, like, touching a phone and then running away. Which gives you a sense of how incendiary some of these are. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to have a read through some of these and sort of unpack them and tell you whether or not I agree, because there's a lot of bold opinions in here. I think there's, at the moment, something like 1,800 retweets with comments. We're going to have a read through these. We're going to see what we think. Even Oblizada tweeted, "You're going to nominate everything except the lead male in a show where he's a gigantic part of how the show breathes. Like, I couldn't have grown or been nominated without him. Do they realise the percussions?" And then eyes emoji and then a vomiting emoji. She's talking about Hadestown. She's talking about how Reeve Carney wasn't nominated for Best Leading Actor in a Musical for Hadestown. I saw them both in Hadestown when it was at the Olivier Theatre in the National Theatre a couple of Christmases ago. I enjoyed the show. It wasn't thrilling. I thought it was really artistically done and beautiful, and the music was gorgeous and the direction was compelling. Did either of their performances wow me? I loved her much more in Miss Saigon. I will say that. I thought she was incredible in Miss Saigon and definitely should have been nominated for an Olivier Award. Oh my god. But here's the thing with awards discourse, is to say Reeve should have been nominated means one of those people who was shouldn't have been. So unless you're going to name names and say he deserved a nomination over that person, it's hollow, because there is only so much space. And awards shows are intrinsically flawed for this reason. Also, he doesn't get nominated for supporting your performance. Like, he doesn't get nominated for Best Leading Actor because you needed him to grow as a person. Like, that's why you make a speech and you get to thank all of those people. It's like saying, well, I couldn't have gone on stage without my dresser, so she needs a Tony Award. That would be lovely. I'd be thrilled for her. But it's not the way that the Tony Awards work. Also, I feel like what Reeve Carney gave was an incredible vocal performance. This is another question entirely about how the Tonys recognise acting versus incredibly demanding vocal performances. And I feel like the Tony Awards, and especially the Olivier Awards, are more geared towards great actors who can sing, rather than great singers who can act. Speaking of Tony Awards, Wesley Taylor has tweeted, "SpongeBob only took home set design, but it should have swept costumes, lights, sound. Tony Shalhoub is one of my favourite actors, but Ethan should have won. David Cromer is brilliant, but Tina Landau should have won." Controversial. I feel like this is the tweet Kevin Daley was talking about earlier with performers airing their grievances. Wesley was in SpongeBob on Broadway and is upset they did not win Tonys in more categories. They definitely deserve set design. That set design's incredible. I've actually seen SpongeBob. I went to see it being taped that they filmed down in Plymouth in the UK for some very strange reason. So I've seen snippets of Wesley's performance and Ethan's performance, and Ethan was amazing. He belted while hanging upside down, while climbing things. Kind of like P.T. Barnum in the musical Barnum, where you have to do so much that it's so impressive just for that reason. The whole show rests on him, and he has to keep the energy going almost the entire time, and it's such a demanding physical performance that is very different to the requirements of Tony Shalhoub in The Band's Visit. But the Tony Awards are a little bit elitist and are always going to prefer that sort of artsy indie musical over something very commercial like SpongeBob. That's not to say SpongeBob wasn't an incredibly creative endeavour. I don't think the Tony Awards were ever going to recognise it. Also, it's difficult when you're at the heart of that thing and you're in that show, because you see the work that goes into it. You've seen the prep that Ethan does, but you're not in the band's visit, so you don't see what goes into that. So awards are an objective opinion that you have to sometimes agree to disagree with. That's the most diplomatic thing I can say about this situation. At Grossman Max, who is Max Grossman, tweeted, "Music directors and musicians in general don't get nearly enough credit for what they do." Absolutely. Why is there no Tony Award, no Olivier Award, for Best Musical Director? I know the Oliviers now have achievement in music, but it baffles me, especially if you've ever done amateur theatre, community theatre, student theatre. You know how these creatives work, and you get more of a chance to see it than you do on like a Broadway or a West End stage. So why is it directors and choreographers get recognition, but not musical directors? Baffling. The amount of work they do is huge. Everything you are hearing in a musical has gone through a musical director. It's bizarre to me. There is no good reason. At Kevin Daley tweeted, here's a fresh one, Broadway performers shouldn't use this tweet to air petty grievances. Oh. At Zara Yeager, the grinning man was snubbed. The show should have won all the awards. Is it eligible to, if it played at the Trafalgar Studios? I don't know. If it was eligible, I think it should have won awards. I think Lewis Maskell was incredible as Grim Payne. That show is about to get streamed from the Bristol Old Vic. Watch that during lockdown. Listen to the cast recording. It's bonkers, but very creative and very interesting. Completely unlike any other new musical I've ever seen. At Philip Joel tweeted, Claire House should have taken the final individual bow in 42nd Street. Did she not? Did she not? I saw her in 42nd Street. Did she not get the final bow? That's very upsetting. I didn't even realise that, but that is an excellent point. Yes, I co-sign this narrative. I agree with you, Philip Joel. Claire House should have taken the final bow in 42nd Street because of all of the damn tap she was doing and the singing, and it's her story. Who else is the main character of that show? I resent that so much. Gosh. Peach Maria Coyne has tweeted, Christine Daae should get the final bow in Phantom of the Opera. Does she not? The Phantom in the Phantom of the Opera is on stage for about 15 minutes. He does not even sing live for all of those because there are some sections where he's got too much of a skull on his face to sing like this. All sorts of nonsense in that show. Like there's a bit they spend 10 minutes getting into the boat and so they have to walk across the... It's a weird show. But she should definitely get the final bow. She does way more in that show. My gosh. You don't have to give him the final bow just because he is the Phantom of the Opera in the show The Phantom of the Opera. In Heathers, you don't give the final bow to the three Heathers just because they're Heathers. At Darrin Bell tweeted, Wicked is about Glinda's journey and not Elphaba's. Interesting. It's not about Elphaba's. That's the thing. Like, it's definitely... I think the beauty of a show like Wicked is that you have these two female narratives. So many musicals are like leading actor, leading actress. It's male and female. Wicked is about these two female characters and both of their stories and how they intertwine and how their relationship changes. And it's about the relationship between the two. That's why they bow together at the end. So I don't like the idea of pitting one of them against each other and say it's not actually about her, it's about that one. It's about both of them. But do I think Glinda's story and journey is more interesting than Elphaba's? Absolutely. We start with Glinda, we finish with Glinda. Elphaba's story is essentially she comes in, she has a lot of opinions, she wavers for like half a second in the middle of Wonderful, but ultimately she sticks to those opinions and gets very angry about the whole situation. Glinda has about 3,000 different changes of heart throughout the show. She's the one who really changes and has more of a journey in that sense. So I think there's more to take away from Glinda's story than Elphaba's. Elphaba is girl is treated badly because she's green. Glinda is blonde girl who exists in a life of privilege, can learn from her experiences and grow from her mistakes. At Beetle Finn, a Beetlejuice fan named Finn. I get it now. Just because someone can't hit an impossibly high note doesn't mean they're not a good singer. So true, so true. We need to be recognising other vocal types. I feel like this gets talked a lot about with altos versus sopranos and high belting in new musicals. But like for guys as well, talking about Reeve Carney in Hadestown, the Aaron Tveits of this world, the Jeremy Jordans of this world, it's getting so high. All the male roles in Waitress, even the comedy role in Waitress is so high that when they bring in other actors, they have to take down his songs. Like, that's insane. If you disagreed with any of these opinions, feel free to fight me in the comment section down below. Let me know your thoughts on any of the topics we've covered today. If you would like a fuller version of any of these videos, me talking about bootlegs, me talking about diversity casting, any of these things, please let me know. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Make sure you head over to Twitter, quote tweet that tweet for yourself, and share your controversial musical theatre opinions. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you're subscribed to my channel for more Stagey content coming very, very soon. I hope everyone is staying safe and that you have a stagey day.